folks, welcome back for another episode of Our Journeys. And we are starting off with our good buddy Mark, who we have not seen in a very long time. I've seen him here and there, but, he'd be practicing or just doing any number of other things. But we're going to get to see him starting off this fresh season, this beautiful February. And he is running an oldie but a goodie, a classic Mark deck, the Control Empire, equipped, as I recall. Now, Bardigar might be new. That might be new. I don't recall seeing that before. So this might be a slightly different list than what we've seen from him in the past. Not entirely sure. But we see he is up against Val, number, number. I have no clue. II-415. Maybe that's a sci-fi reference or something, but I don't get it. It definitely seems to be the, I don't want to say classic, but kind of the typical, more or less typical Dagoth build. And unfortunately for Mark, II has the quintessential. Okay, that's not necessarily the absolute normal. It does certainly help. It's a good little card to have there. It's a nice little bit of synergy.
You must be cleansed.
And the Hand of Dagoth says, have you come to submit, come to deny, or come to take my ward and all my cool stuff and leave me as a naked 5/4? And the Shadowfen Priest said, well, I've got my bowl of sap juice here, and I've just decided to make you look a little less intimidating. And he's like, but I'm House Dagoth, we're gonna go face. And he did. There's the new era. It's going to be a close, well, I shouldn't say that. It would be close if Mark was not facing such a formidable board. He does have Immolating Blast, so he will be able to, well, no. Actually, that's not a great play. He can pretty much trade with what he needs to trade with. Fortunately, once the Awakened Dreamer is left all by her lonesome, she will not be able to transform into the 5/5, or she won't continue to snowball. She has to get to at least 5 power for that to happen. So if II wants her to get bigger, he's going to have to use another method. No drain for Mark. He does have guards in the Barded Gar, which is weird. It's almost like it should be the Barded Guard. He's a guard. Ooh. So II's got the dirty tricks. He's got the movement package. But Mark, okay, all right. Yep, he's getting that drain down, saying, hey, it's gone close enough. So unless II has a lightning bolt or a charge creature, looks like Mark's going to get at least 2 health back. Not sure if he'd be running something like Dwarven Armaments or Dawnbreaker in this deck to beef up his spindly. Oh, nope, and that's what II needed. Boy, Mark definitely has his work cut out for him this game. It seems to be aligned against him. Probably cast into time just to avoid the risk of getting another silenced and having to take another 3 to the face, but maybe I was going to say Hallowed Death Priest. Okay, so he's taken away II's draw. Oh, it's a little sad because that you don't see the Ashcan card played very often. So, kind of seeing that dissipate and be mummified is a bit of a bummer. But for Mark, it's very good because it does mean that II is going to have fewer options to work with. But he's got more than enough, so probably Nahagleave. I'm guessing. Although I guess I was gonna say, yeah, maybe the Guardian. I was thinking Guardian Hist Mage to have 2 guards down there, just in case one gets silenced. Oh boy, that's gonna sting. Of all the cards to have, still 1 turn away from New Era. Emperor's Blade. Oh, fantastic. So it's really going to come down to silence. If II has a silence in those 3 cards, Mark is done for. If he does not, this game is probably going to go to our good buddy Mark. And it looks like Mark is going to stabilize, and that's probably going to do it. I mean, II keeps the pressure on, but Yeah, he's fighting a losing battle at this point. I think this is more. I don't know. Obviously you saw how I handle it when the game goes south, because I'm just trying to make the most efficient use of my time. But I think some folks, and I'm not saying this about II, but some folks might get a little. You know what? I'm just I'm not going to give you the game. I'm going to keep pushing. And to be fair, though, Mark has not turtled, really. I mean, voluntarily. It's not like, oh, he's just been, twiddling his fingers. II has been just relentless in his attack and his assault. And I know from playing Mark and from seeing him play, he is a pivot control player. He'll do what he needs to do until he feels comfortable with the way things are. Even if it's not an OTK, one turn that he can wipe the guy out, and he'll start attacking. But II is really not giving him a chance to breathe, which I don't blame him for. Oh, he's got the pretty, wow, all 3 barded Gars. I think it's like, hey, I finally get a chance to play. I've got to play. Makes me wonder, perhaps, if there's not a quest of some kind. I'm trying to think what it would be that you'd want to play a barded Guard. Maybe play X number of guards, or play X number of Gar. No DS. I'm thinking. Yeah. Alright, so he is amassing a board. And II, hero of the people, is going to die shortly. Especially we know Mark has new air in his hand. If things do get out of hand, if his board can't close things out, he'll just yeet the entire board. Oh, Allied Guardian is going to cinch it. If II was not going to concede on his own volition, I think he definitely will once the Guardians come down. They are backbreaking. Curious why didn't you just trade with the Sanctuary Pet? I guess I wanted the life. It worked out. Yeah, this is even better. So now he's getting himself even more room. No runes, but yeah, there we go. There we go. Those Guardians, boy, they will. They are the death knell. Sweet. Okay, we're on a roll here. We caught Mark at the beginning, and we've caught Kfluffy. Just when things start picking up a little bit. So he's up against Cacta? All caps, so maybe it's an acronym for Klondike and
You are not worthy.
circumvention of tomorrow's apothecary. That seems to be the most likely thing. It may not be, but it does seem to be. Oh, we got a comment from Mark there. I'm gonna see if I can sneak it in real quick. See what it said. Okay, I failed. We missed a lightning bolt, taking out the East March Crusader as he had the most. No, he had the East March Crusader. Crap. Okay. Anyway,
Speak, citizen.
regardless of what the acronym stands for, Cacta is a top 10 player. And so even though things are looking pretty good for Kfluffy, has board advantage, has card advantage. Ooh. Is gonna need to... Okay, Cacta is trading. Just goes to show, just because you're the aggressor, in this case, we see he's trying to push he obviously wants to close out those points. He's not just...
Out of my way, world.
He does, like, a lot of times I'll get it in my head, like, I just need to make this push. I need to close this thing out. And obviously, Cacta already in the tower, happily chilling in the tower, a place that, for some of us is a very difficult place to get to, is not going all in on the aggressiveness, which is very wise, because against someone like Kfluffy, you really can't mess around. So he is going to go face there. Possibly just because the trade wouldn't work out.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
And I'm guessing by this point in the game, yep, he has an Atronach to make a big 7/5. Queen's Gambit, or Queen's Captain, destroy a creature. That is almost assuredly what we will see come down for Kfluffy to destroy. A nice premium version, no less. Says goodbye to the 7-5, and that right there could be the pivotal play of the game. We might have missed another play that I would have called a pivotal play earlier on. And again, notice, Kfluffy was at a disadvantage, is still at a disadvantage in terms of health total. He's not just kind of tightening up and going, okay, he's... Oh, and that is going to be huge. Kaboink. Does he have lethal? Well, it's academic at this point. And Cacta having what he needs to thwart a counteroffensive by Kfluffy, though Fluffy does have... execute is going to be huge here. That is going to be a great play, and it's going to enable him to... It's going to make fingers even less expensive. Yep. Boom. And boom. All right, he's going to push it. At least 2. I would imagine the 7, though. He's going to try to close this out. Oh! Going for face. Yep. Cacta's gonna... It's gonna be down to prophecies. But he's gonna have to get 2 lightning... At this point, he needs to get 2 lightning bolt prophecies to pull this out. Because Kfluffy does have exact lethal on board with an extra 4 in hand if... I don't know when that would be, because if... Okay, yeah, Shackle... Unfortunately, he's going to be 1 off right now, so we might see Headless Zombie come down. Possibly allow him to get something else that he needs. Really, I would be very surprised if Kfluffy does attack here, having gotten burned by that last prophecy, knowing right now he would have to do 2.
My paws are quicker than your
Okay, he's going to crush. Very wise there. He's getting his haunted spirit in place to possibly get squooshed. Or just lightning bolted. She could hit, get lightning bolted. Well, that would be stupid because lightning bolt is worth more than hers. And that's going to be it. It looks like, barring something redonkulous, Kfluffy's going to be able to close it out. And he does! Good game, Kfluffy! And he scrambles up the ladder.
We're joining Kfluffy for an arena. Actually, is it arena? No, it's not. It's ladder. Sorry, I was recording this quite late. Well, I am recording this quite late. If I could even talk. Clearly, I have one of my days where I can't talk very well. Anyway, this person's name, Chicken Milk, rings a bell. I can't remember whether they... I mean, it looks more like a burn deck. But I'm fairly certain that they've run Market in the past. It could just be my rubbishy memory, couldn't it? So this is a fairly new build for Kfluffy. I think it's the one that people have been chatting about in Friends group, where it's really particularly a vicious Halalu job. It's normally very fast. So interesting to see it in action.
I will be triumphant.
If it's the one I'm thinking of. I've not seen the build myself, but I know Banana's played it and climbed very easily with it.
Deserves another.
I will have your head.
Well defended.
This one will
Of course.
blows.
He's got a nice way to make lethal there, hasn't he? Silence the guard. Nicely done. Pretty quick as well, wasn't it?
Okay, we are joining Fluffy Fries 99, who you might remember from before is coming up with some with some crazy shenanigans. And what he has told me, and if this is the right deck, he just said he's jumping in the game.
What have we here?
All right, so Kfluffy's giving me some insight on the deck that we just saw him play, and I will tap into that after this game, so we don't disturb the board. Against the very long claw, with long being the only word capitalized. see. This is a correspondence. So this is the lockpick deck. He said it's essentially a way that make the lockpick a formidable and powerful card. So I had to see it. I had to see it because that is something that has never happened in the history of TESL. Is the lockpick? It's only 3 o'clock for him right now. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of I am at a little bit of a time crunch at the moment, just because I have a video to get out for tomorrow for the I'm a push buttons, and then I have this one that I'm doing that you are seeing now on Friday. So not really seeing the lockpick do a whole lot, but he is really going to town on the very long claw, champion of the arena.
Stand behind my work.
Let's see if we can't reach an.
And this is always kind of tough because, I mean, Fluffy Fries doesn't really have an amazing board, really. I mean, but he doesn't have much of a choice either. Now, okay, he's going to draw some cards. I was going to say, like, you ideally would want to take out that 4/5. That guy's dangerous. You leave him on the board for even a turn, and he's going to buff up all of the weapons in your opponent's hand. That's always a scary proposition. So I'm guessing lockpick with the kitty. Let's see. Your cards that didn't start in your deck. But that would have started in your deck, so there's no synergy there, at least that I'm aware of. I'm guessing there's got to be something that... Oh, wait. When you play lockpick, if it doesn't draw the card, I think... Does it generate a lockpick? We may see it here. If it does, then that means the lockpick that comes from that lockpick is a 0 cost and does have the synergy with Swindler's Market. Thieves Guild Fence. Yes, so if any of this is looking slightly familiar, it is because Fluffy Fries 99 is the mastermind behind the modern iteration of the Abomination. And he said, here we go, we're going to see it. So, ring out the lockpick. Is that... Brings up another lock, and it does, yep. I wonder if that has to be with the Thieves Guild guy. Oh, and he has weaponized the pick. What in the world, you crazy, crazy madmen? Oh, no. I mean, not a lot of drain options for the long claw. I mean, he's got endurance, so he does have options, but nothing that would draw him anything right now, and certainly nothing that would stop that lightning bolt from smiting him. I think the very long claw is going, what the heck just happened? I just got destroyed by a stinking lockpick. I'd be saying the same thing too. Fluffy Fries. You terrify me, my friend. You terrify me. Don't know how you come up with this stuff, but that Thieves Guild Fence, I mean, that was kind of the key card to the Abomination.
I could use
And we are seeing now the very long claw getting some benefits from that.
Don't care to wield them.
Oh wow, there's actually I don't think I'd have this guy, or if I do, I have one copy and I've never used him. I mean, it's great. I mean, the very long claw's got a nice theme going on here, but I think he knows.
It has been an engaging hunt.
And Fluffy Fries, you know, not messing around, just going right there. Wow. After a quick discussion, we are rejoining Fluffy Fries 99. Wanted to see the lockpick deck again from the beginning. Hopefully get to see it go off a little bit more. He's up against the Ritual Stone, a bold clan chieftain who is actually daring to run a mono strength deck in this day and age. Ooh. Wow, that lightning bolt is just not enough. So, oh no! What a crazy back and forth this is.
I am ready to join the circle.
And now Fluffy Fries is in a bit of a predicament. I mean, he can lightning bolt her because, and he may need to. Oh, Blackhand Messenger perhaps. No, he's going to go Thieves Guild. I mean, he's going to take a lot of damage on this next play. So now he's got the Skooma Cat. He's got Swindlers. He does need the fence though. I did confirm that he needs both, which makes sense because defense reduces cost by 1, and skooma reduces cost by 1. So yeah, so up against like straight up aggro, it's definitely harder, and makes it even more difficult when he's got. I didn't see what he buffed the Mighty Ally with, but had Fluffy been able to, hit him with that lightning prophecy bolt and get him out of the picture, the whole landscape of this game looks very, very different. Let me see. I mean, a 5 Magicka against that board, I don't think he's got a way to win. Okay, he's got that done. Okay. But yeah, Ritual Stone has exact lethal without breaking a rune, so yeah. So, and I thought, this has been quick, but I think it's important to see this to go, okay, even when you see, oh, that's what he had on that's what he used to buff him. Even when you have a really great deck and you've developed it greatly, you're still going to have some tough matchups, and that's what Fluffy Fries said. There are going to be some matchups that are tougher like that one. It just goes south right from the beginning. We've got our buddy CardSharkCharlie up against Quem, probably Quem, Deus Volt Perdere, the Duchess of Dementia. Certainly a Duchess of confusing names, although I'm not sure, because I mean we're all in the big pool, right? No matter where you are in the world, we're all in the big pool. So that could very well, to me, it looks like Latin. Like it's like somebody was like, "Oh, I'm going to, concoct this cool name using things." I mean, I know Deus. Well, no. Agnus Dei, no Deus. I know Dios is God. I have no idea what Deus or Deus. Anyway, let's focus on the game, right? Shall we? Because that, even though I'm not necessarily great at it, I can at least understand it a little bit better than that. I was trying to sort out whether or not it was like one of those cool like illusions. Maybe it's a character from a sci-fi movie, or if it's actually somebody just in another country, and that actually just means Duchess of Dementia or the person who plays Battle Mage. Who knows? Anyway, ignorance is not always bliss. Does have the key. Ooh. Alright. So CardShark. Ooh, CardShark has the nice. Well, I don't know about nice. Well, I don't know. So I'm not a huge fan of the original Swift Strike card. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, oh, I really like this. That's terrifying. Like the big old BDSM golem, whatever the heck it is. I think he's called the guard or the watch. No, what is it? The gatekeeper. Yeah, less is more. I think when it comes to that guy, just not happy to see him. But it is premium, so I guess if you don't have premium, the other one, that's a nice one to pick up.
They will perish in flame.
Ooh, good answer for the Mournhold Trader. So really, we've seen a lot of action here, and even though I've been somewhat distracted myself, nobody's really taken a lot of damage here. We're 28-28 on turn 8. Isn't that great? I can't wait to see the fate that awaits. And I can think of a lot of things that rhyme with that, but none of them that really make a lot of sense or are kosher for this video. So I will end it there. And by golly day, the Duchess is continuing to inflict, or to keep things stirring. I mean, we looked and I was like, okay, they've only got 2 cards left, but clearly that's all they need. They've got the nice premium Alfique there. Really nothing great for the Devious Bandit to. I mean, she can drain for 3. It's gonna break a rune. A nice summon trigger there for prophecy trigger there for the Gloom Lurker, I believe. With his, I don't know, like why his sword is glowing purple, but I think that's also the color scheme. The Dark Saber, not Dark Saber. I don't know. I'm not quite up on Disney Star Wars or even really prequel, but there's a Mandalorian thing. Oh my gosh! Oh, it just goes from bad to worse. I mean, if you only got 3 cards in your hand, and poor CardSharkCharlie's, Alit is just afflicting him like crazy.
What can Khajiit do for you?
Alright, so he's gonna drain, gets the trigger for the 4/3, and can now equip a dagger. Unfortunately, again, just like we saw in the last game, Duchess event. Well, I was gonna say Duchess had exact lethal, now has more than is needed. With a tome, if they've got another way to... Okay, there you go. That's the game. Wow. Well, things got out of hand quickly. Okay, I'm glad we jumped into this. DNK1906, believe that name is familiar. Usually always remember the names of the invaders. Fluffy Fries in a little bit of a predicament. He's got everything laid out. He just needs his lockpick right now. But I wanted to also cue into this because I wanted to give you... Oops. I asked him where he got the inspiration for this from. And so, yeah, DNK is going, well, I can't do anything if I can't invade, so let me just invade out the wazoo. Got the fence. Yeah, really just needs that lockpick. But I asked him how he came across it. He said, well, I've been using a fence a lot, and I have a discount market monk deck. And there's a deck centered around action triggers like Chanter and Thalmor Juristikar. So I thought, why not make Market and Hexmage? I had to read that because it wasn't just like I woke up this morning and I thought, hey, a fence and a cat, or 2 cats together. Hey, it had quite a train of thought. Yeah, I remember this. I remember this DNK because he had a very unconventional invade deck, wherein he played cards like that and some other cards that you don't really see in invade. So I appreciated that. Oh gosh, we're gonna be here for a while, folks. Don't know how many of those there are in the deck, but chances are it's gonna be another hour and a half before we... Okay, never mind. And of course she gets charged, and that's pretty much gonna be the game. Although, never count anybody out. You never count these savvy players out. I mean, DNK is just hoping to draw into a ton of his... Oh, can he get... he's going to pick the Dark Brotherhood. Get that draw power going. Because, I mean, man, if he can just queue into the lockpick, there is a chance. Okay, well... I mean, there's a chance he could OTK it. With 2 markets on board... Now, he doesn't have his fence, though. That's the problem. Without the fence, the cost doesn't get reduced to what it is. So, yeah, it's going to be... If DNK decides he wants to go face, which it looks like he's going to do, it looks like Fluffy Fries is going to have... But as he said at the end of the first game, there's the lockpick. Still no fence. And DNK has... Yeah. Fluffy Fries put it very well. I hate people that don't swing. It's a smart play, but I hate it.
This video brought to you by Jailbreaker, courtesy of Yum36. As you can see, it is a House Telvanni card, 8 cost, 5/5. If you would sacrifice a creature, move it instead. And as Lollygag and Sweet Roll pointed out, this would be awesome because it would make the board Telvanni better for anybody who's trying to play Telvanni, to build a board instead of essentially just trying to sacrifice creatures and things like that. It would actually make that style of play better for Telvanni. I did point out that it would make the Guardians, the Allied Guardians, a little more obnoxious. And he suggested, instead of sacrificing it, move it and give it -1/-1 or -2/-2. So same thing. If you don't sacrifice, it's going to move, but it's going to take a hit. It's not going to become, it's going to lose stats. In other words, you're going to be able to keep it on the board, or you would in theory be able to keep it on the board, but it is not going to remain a threat. Which, I mean, for Cat's Paw, if I'm reading the card right, if I'm understanding the card right, that would kill the Cat's Paw. If you gave it, a -2/-2. So it would be essentially the same thing. It wouldn't be a sacrifice, but it would be a move and a death. And I don't know if that would still count. I'm guessing that would still count as a sacrifice, because you're intentionally causing the card harm in order to get an effect out of it. But it would, but against like the Allied Guardians, because typically like when you're doing device experiments or those other things and you're sacrificing a card, it goes away. But if all you're doing is moving it, like then you get the effect of the Guardian, the LA Guardian, like you get the updated, the higher cost card, but it stays on the board. Like it doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, I think that is a very good point by Lollygag and Sweet Roll. I think it's a cool card in terms of, again, it's just like the previous one, another Yum Yum one. It's a very subtle one. You know, I think in big swings, this is another subtle card. Good card art. Looks like it fits right in with the universe. And yeah, it does. But boy, yeah, it encourages you to play Telvanni in a different way, or that in theory that's what it does. But unfortunately, it would just enable you to go bonkers with some of those cards. I mean, even a -2/-2. I mean, really, I'm looking at you, Guardian. I'm thinking that's really the only card that comes to mind that gets sacrificed a lot. It doesn't get well, yeah, it does get sacrificed, but it's I don't think it's Debates Experiments. I mean, that is one of them, but there's another one where it's you sacrifice it and you get a creature that's an extra 2. You sacrifice another creature. I don't know. Bottom line is, sacrificing is already a very powerful mechanic in Telvanni, particularly, perhaps exclusively. I don't know if there's sacrifice in other colors, but in either case. It could be argued. I like where it's going, and I like the idea that it's encouraging a different style of play. The problem is, I think sacrifice, like, you need that card to go. And I'm wondering about this effect. That's the only thing I'm curious about. So, is it as long as Jailbreaker's on the board, anytime you would make a sacrifice? I guess that would add an extra condition to it, which would balance it out a little bit. And I'm guessing that's what it is, because it doesn't say upon summon. So I'm guessing you play Jailbreaker. It's an 8 cost, so chances are you're not going to be able to play another one. Although those experiments, I think they're 2 and 3 costs, the 2 that I'm thinking of. I can't remember the names of them at this particular moment. But at like a 10, 10 or 11, you could play that and those, and then you get to retain, essentially, your ostensibly sacrificed creature and actually move it. So it adds a mobility, allows you to put a guard or another card in the way. So, I mean, it's a movement ability, and it allows you to keep that sacrifice target on the board. I think that might be too powerful. I think that might be. I might be reading too much into it. But I just think for what it can do, the amount of options that it gives you, it does require forethought. Like, you would have to know, okay, I'm going to play this card here. I've got Jailbreaker in my hand. In next turn or the turn after, if this survives, I'm going to want it in this other lane. And then, if Jailbreaker dies, you can... It can require a little more stratagem, which I do like. I think it's essentially a move card with a card that doesn't actually move. It already gives you an effect. It already, experiments you up to something else, or it already allows you to draw cards or whatever it is. Oh, now that's an interesting question, though. Without the -2/-2 that Lollygag and Sweet Roll suggested, for so let's say Cat's Paw. That's the one. Like I said, that's the big one in Telvanni that gets used a lot. It's a draw 2 card. But if you don't actually sacrifice it, if you move it instead of sacrifice it, does it trigger the sacrifice effect, allowing you to draw those 2 cards? Or instead of sacrificing, does it just move it? And now that I think about it, that would make a lot more sense. And so maybe I have misunderstood the card. It doesn't give you the sacrifice effect. It simply moves the card, so you don't actually sacrifice it. I don't know. A little fuzzy on this. I might have to start doing a little more research, which is great in theory, and it's going to make this segment of the videos a lot better. However, it is going to be a lot more time, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. But always welcome conversation in the comments, or wherever, on Discord, wherever, to say, okay, here's what I think it means. Or Yum Yum, if you're watching this and you want to say, this is exactly what it is. And if I think about it, I'll ask and maybe bring it up at a later point in the video. But right now, I look at it and go, okay, either it seems a little overpowered in that my Cat's Paw is now, instead of going away, being sacrificed, I'm moving my Cat's Paw, and I'm drawing 2 cards. If that is the case, if that's what the card is essentially saying, then I think that is that's pretty overpowered, especially as a 3-of. Like, you can play a lot of them. It does cost a pretty penny, but it's a 5/5 board. It's got some staying power, and boy, I can see that happening, really snowballing. However, if it is that instead of sacrificing that Cat's Paw, you simply move her, and she doesn't draw you 2 cards, well, then it might be underpowered. I don't know, but I would say that would be a little more... I would be a little less leery going, oh, that seems a little bit OP. But anyway, Yum Yum, thank you for another great card. Jailbreaker looks fantastic. And I like, again, the exploration of these different ideas. Our next card is going to be modifications of Mundus, Namira's Shrine, and Allmaker's. Okay, Allmaker's a new card, but Mundus and Namira by Viclius. So it's updating Namira's Shrine and Mundus and giving us a fresh card. I'll probably combine them all into one since he posted them all together, and 2 of them are updates and not completely original cards, and then finish it off with Maker's Stone. But anyway, that's next time. That's the next video. For now, let's get back to the games.
Bam, I must have done something right. I tell you what, I am just, everybody's playing. I really needed today to move along at a pretty good clip because, like I said, I've got to get 2 videos done and edited before I lay my head down to rest tonight, and we got Manic-Jack. was queued into his last game, but he pretty much was finishing it up. We got the last turn of him closing out the game, so I'm glad we're jumping back in, seeing him play Covenant, one of the few players that I see do that with any regularity. And it is a diabolical Covenant. I mean that's the thing when you realize you can have Soul of Revenge and Alfeet Conjure in the same deck. It's like, whoa.
Care to make a friendly way?
And boy, and it's our good friend II, the hero of the people.
Keep your distance.
And II getting no value from his Corner Club gamblers. And I say to quit while you're ahead. Unfortunately, Corner Club doesn't have that option. As soon as she gambles, it's over. By the way, that's me unscrewing the cork, not any kind of flatulence, just so you know. See the cork there? We're on the up and up here. I have too much respect for you all to... And I don't know... Well, yeah, you could probably hear that. Anyway. Now, the only downside, I did see the message from Fluffy Fries, and unfortunately, he's one piece away from having his combo go off. But I can't go back and forth in games because, you know, I can't use just a partial game. So looks like Manic-Jack is going to close this out pretty quick with this incredibly lethal and swiftly moving Covenant deck. Turn 5. You're not going to ask for more. So I definitely having a rough go of it. Although I will confess, I can't for the life of me remember if I won that game. I don't think they did. I think they lost that game. But it's all a blur. Like once the game's done, I just move. I'm moving on to what's there. I'm in the moment, as it were. Which.
Close ranks, let nothing through.
All right, so Manic pushing that last bit of damage there. Another prophecy. I believe got one of those last time as well.
By the fires of oblivion.
Lightning bolt will not work on her. Might have Earthbone. Otherwise. Oh, okay, he's going to at least get some... He's going to get a tome to equip on his... I'm guessing he's going to play the douche. No? Okay. He's going to play 2 Harpies. Spread the love. And hope that there's not another Fingers of the Mountain. Sanctuary Pet. A little irony there. A shackled creature being shackled. Of course, II knows that Manic-Jack has 2 reach from hand. It's not going to do any good. That is the game.
Hard-fought victory.
Manic-Jack giving her a mighty mace swings. GG. And I think we may have got here just in time. Yes, we have arrived just in time. So, Manic-Jack, thank you very much. I know it was not intentional, but you moved so very quickly that it allowed us to get into... Yeah, Manic-Jack, congratulations. We did hit 666 subscribers, which is incredible. I mean, before TESL happened, I was, I believe it was under 200. It was like 175, 180. You know, I had a few sketch videos and some edit videos that had gotten some attention. I don't really have, I think I have one, my mom and maybe my sister. I probably have about a handful of, like, existing friends and family that, you know, were subscribed. But everybody else, you know, came organically, which was nice, but Ever since this game came, you all have been very supportive, and you know, here we are, 400 away from, I can't even say the promised land. It's just the ability to, you know, parlay this maybe to some kind of sustainable. Not that I'm looking to make this sustainable, like a, you know, an income thing. I mean that's big picture, long way off. Not even really considering it. Okay, so unfortunately, you know, I was trying to figure out exactly what's going on at the moment. Unfortunately, Fluffy Fries is missing the component that he was missing before, which is
Kashid likes these.
the... Oh, and that's what he said. Okay, so that's, yeah. So as a backup, he has her as a backup in case he isn't able to get the fence. Which is what happened in this case. Now he will be able to play Spoils of War, get some more cards. Still does not get the fence.
Kashid likes these.
Wow, this would be incredible if we could see if he ends up winning this
Murder in the air.
just by playing her, but he can't. He's out of power. 9, 15, 18, 20. Has lethal. Mind Game R3. Also rank 9. Interesting. I have the unfortunate feeling that Mind Game is being a bit of a turd muffin. Or a major turd muffin. Depending on your particular bent. Because he had lethal. Yeah. I think Fluffy is either gonna... Or is he saying, hey, could you please close this out? No? Mind Game, take the hint. You're being a jerk. Oh, maybe not. I mean, Fluffy Fries doesn't seem to mind. I would be... I consider that incredibly bad for him. Like, why? Why?
So we're joining Kfluffy again on ladder with his particularly vicious Savage Halalu build. Oh, look, he's playing a clanmate, Lion Elm. Don't often see them on ladder, but clearly they
Welcome, friend.
are doing pretty well for themselves.
Welcome.
Wait. Did you hear that?
Good to see some generally friendly exchanges between the two clanmates.
Care to make a friendly wager?
Ouch. I'd hate to give up a sheer point, but I do appreciate why he's doing that. It's always a good move to try and get her out before anything like Crush and Blow or any other removal can come online.
You bet on the wrong side.
And that's looking like a nice combo coming up, isn't it? You've got Enraged Dragonlight getting the breakthrough from the Minotaur. Okay, maybe that's going to come later.
Means something.
Good move to protect the Minotaur, given that
You bet on the wrong
there's
side.
probably snakes in there.
The forest is my clan.
Oh, they got him anyway. Maybe we'll have a Dragon Knight soon then. Once that's cleaned up.
I will be triumphant.
Very good draw there.
Let's do this.
I can't imagine that Lion Elm's going to want to give Kfluffy any extra cards. In a bit of a difficult position there, isn't he? Because you don't want to give extra cards, so he's already got plenty to choose from. But equally, he needs to make some progress while he still can. I think he'll hold off, really. At the moment, he knows what 2 of those 3 cards are. So it's 2 of those 5 cards that Kfluffy's got, so I suspect he'll hold off.
I have you now.
We must
Interesting.
protect our stronghold.
Of course I'm on your side.
Ah, that's going to be a good move there, 5th Legion.
I'll whip them into shape.
Of course I'm on your side. Time to fight. Let's do this. Time to fight.
Well, that's pretty vicious, isn't it? So Kfluffy's putting the pressure on to try and force the opponent to trade.
Of course I'm on your side.
So forcing him back into a defensive stance. That's good having that Cliff Racer lurking there, isn't it?
Surprise! Your face!
That's one threat removed. But I think that's going to be a nice comfy win for
Of course
Kfluffy.
I'm on your side.
It has been my honor.
Giving a clean kill. Well done, Kfluffy.
Oh, and for the first time today, we log into a game that is very well behind where I would have hoped it would be. But Shake It Baby is. I think these are always. I'm always more excited about these because I like to see the underdog, and I would never call somebody like Kfluffy or Shake It Baby an underdog in a in a vacuum. You would never call them an underdog, but by fact, by case in point, at this particular moment being, I'm gonna say he's at a slight disadvantage on board. Well, no, I take it back. On board, he has a slight advantage. He has more creatures that survive. His guards are going to be adequate to really stem the tide here. He's just low on health. But notice, before I go too far, and before we go too far, notice Shake It Baby is playing in Arena. We see the gold icons there at the top and bottom instead of the purple ones, which indicates this is Arena. So when you see random invade cards and half the cards that are on the board right now and go, from where do they come and why are they here? It is because we're in Arena. And crazy, quirky things happen in Arena. So Zoom Worker seems to be... Oh, and I want to take a moment to applaud Fluffy Fries for his understanding and compassion, because while you saw me getting a little irked on his behalf, just as his opponent just played a ton of cards, and I mentioned that to him, and he said, I kind of get it. He probably was having scared to death when I didn't get to see him go off. So, well, I guess we kind of did. So he said he was probably, a little nervous, a little irked at seeing all that happen. And, but he could understand where he was coming from. So I applaud that. I applaud that bit of empathy, I guess. For me, though, if I got somebody who's whittled me down and almost killed me, especially if it's with an off-meta deck, this isn't like your lazy market archer where it's like, just going to play my market and all my zero-cost cards, and with, the reduced cost 5 card, I'll be able to just play cards forever until I kill you. If it's not that deck... if I'm able to beat it, I'm just so relieved to get out of that game with a win. The last thing in my mind is let me play out 35,000 cards, but... So I don't understand that logic, but I can appreciate the fact that Fluffy Fries was taking it well. So Shake It Baby now, had the debate, It's interesting too. So that's the kind of decision you have to make, which is what makes this game a lot of fun.
Perhaps we need to adjust our methods.
I can drain for 2, but are those 2 extra health points? Are they worth giving Zoom Worker another card, an extra card, I should say? And he decided it was not. It was not.
Illegal if you get caught.
And it'll be interesting to see if he does, if he considers that to be the case. Like, is he going to wait until he has a full board? Or is he going to... Yep, okay, he's going to wait some more. Maybe not for the whole... Ooh. Wow. The only thing we could say... Oh my goodness gracious, that is a big freaking flesh Atronach. And Shake It Baby is now... And this is where, like you said, you can't Monday morning quarterback these things. Oops. If you had hit with 8, 10, the last turn and the turn again. The whole board could be different right now if he had done that. But he might have had lethal this turn also. And so, but that's the risk you run. I think it's a better bet, a safer bet, to play it the way he did.
You can tell them you
Let's see. So what is he taking out? That's not Tazcad. What is 8? 8 is probably something he saw earlier in the game that we didn't. Sparking Spider. So ShakeItBaby has at least one more guard. I'm not sure. Is the Adept going to be a guard now? And see, now he's pushing it. Oh, now he's pushing in, going, okay, if I need to have lethal on the board. Like I said, there was not critiquing the play. That's just a decision you have to make. And I think the odds are, more often than not, holding back is going to be better. But it does mean, but we've seen Kfluffy in, I'm not going to say in that exact situation. I'm not trying to say that that's what Kfluffy would do. But we have seen at that time where you're like, wow, doesn't have a lot to go on. That's when he pushes that so that his opponent has to not only play a card to go, the opponent can't just play a card to say, I'm going to go on the offensive, I'm going to take you down. Because if you kind of back off or you turtle up a little bit, it might be the right play, but it does allow your opponent to go, okay, all I have to worry about is getting around your guard or your drain or whatever. They don't have to think, okay, I need to put a guard down because otherwise I'm going to lose. Let's see. But ShakeItBaby is going to pull this one off, barring a prophecy. He only has to break one rune. And obviously a lightning bolt's not going to kill him. He's got it. Oh, he decides to... Wait, it's only one rune anyway? Whatever. I clearly lost my mind, but well done, ShakeItBaby. Oh, he's just going to go for it here. Against Nert with a silent K. Or Knert with a very vocal K. Either way, I had a brief discussion with ShakeItBaby there, and he was weighing the odds. So not only, you got to remember, this is something I wouldn't even think about. Remember, it was an arena game, and he said... Vincenzo continues his attack. He's going to pull like a knife to the throat to avoid guards. He is. Perhaps not for guards, but he is going to choose that card. Great call. Gives him some card draw, and it is exactly what he needs to get past this bothersome old dragon. Just what the doctor ordered. Yoink! Give me a card. Got the Gatekeeper. Not necessarily what you want. Although, not bad, yeah. It can't, right now, it's going to survive, and it will be able to hit for 6. Doesn't really have it any other way. Maybe, oh, yeah. Okay, Bone Bow. Kind of the worst. Well, not really. Because he can't finish him off. And now he can. Jeez Louise. Gosh, this game is just going back and forth, back and forth. But, okay, I don't want to... Alright, so he's going to play that. Let me see what... No! Okay, gotta go back to the game. Okay, let me just focus on this game. We'll talk later. We'll talk later. Put a pin in it. We'll come back. Okay, things just got interesting for Vincenzo. I mean, because we're probably going to see a Drain Dragon come down here. No? Okay. Okay, a little surprised. Either Nert with a silent K does not have one. Oh, he has a Viper. Spoink. Takes care of that. Dwarven Armaments, is that lethal? That is lethal. Vincenzo closing it out in swift and speedy fashion. That was redundant. I said that word twice, or said the words that mean the same thing. Oh my gosh, my brain is going away. Help me. Okay, I'm going to stick with this Arrakis game just to prove that he can win even when I'm watching. We know he can. I've seen him do it before. So I don't genuinely believe that it'll be a problem. Silence. And does not have enough to finish it off now, but he will be able to finish it off next turn with the Lightning Bolt, even if Lemon 3 Lemian? Oh, Lemillion, maybe, from My Hero Academia. Great show, by the way.
Nalado will make them.
Ah, it's not going to be enough, my friend. Not going to be enough. Our friend Arrakis is sitting on a lightning bolt. And so, with me watching, he will win the game. Bam! Ha-ha! I might even be his lucky charm. Look at that. He won because I'm watching. That's what happened. We started with Mark, and I think it's only fitting that we are going to bookend this episode with Mark as well. He's up against Daon, which may be an actual name in a different country that I'm not familiar with, or it could be a typo that he did not catch until too late. He meant to say Dawn or Down and accidentally hit them both, or couldn't decide. You know, maybe it was like, hey, do I want to be Down or do I want to be Dawn? Oh, they're both such great words. I'll just put them both in there. Now I have the best of both worlds. In either case, Telvanni Control against Empire Control. This could be a long, long battle. But because I said that, it probably won't be. But if I can sneak back onto my messages here for a second. Okay, here we go. Okay. Shake It Baby, remember, a couple games ago, Prophecy averages around 3 times per draft in Arena, and I had already accounted for a few, so I figured my odds were decent. So he was taking into account not only what I was talking about, where it's like, okay, do I want to push, do I want to give him a card, but he's also looking at it from the context of Arena, which I wasn't, because I really don't play it all that often. But he was going, okay, I knew that in Arena you average about 3 prophecies, and they were accounted for. So he felt emboldened, or felt like had a higher success rate or chance of success than it would maybe in a constructed game because of those things. Another great message from Arrakis, but I do want to try to want to keep the board as clear as possible. But so I need to think. I really wish there was a way I could put the game chat in a window. But let's go ahead and focus on what Mark is doing here, because he has broken that first rune, which, as I said before, for a control player, that means I am going for your blood. And that's quite an effective mute, denying the extra card draw from the Eclipse Baroness when she perishes at the hands of the very creepy Gatekeeper, who we've talked about earlier today. And hey, that's got full circle as well. Now we see the Gatekeeper being creepy in another card. We could see more of his collar diaper. Alright. Wow, is he going to completely wipe out the board? Nope, does leave a little bit there. We are on turn 9, so the 3-2... cast at a time, I think, does deny that card draw. And I have seen Mark, and many other control players, they value that, the card draw so much that they would be willing to use something like Cast at a Time on a card like that just to make sure they don't get that extra bit. Mark chooses not to do that on this turn, and I certainly don't blame him. But there are games where card draw is the most important thing, and it's like, I'll burn a good chunk of removal, but I think, very wisely, Mark knowing the end game, or the back end, or the high end of these Telvanni lists, and he's probably going to need that Cast in time for something else later.
We must count on our wits.
The Profiteer, not exactly what you want to see at this point in the game. Like, you definitely want to get them all out by turn 4 or 5, but, the game never goes that well. No, now that he's got 2 removals, will he... I mean, I can't imagine him using that on the Fighters Guild, especially to protect a Bruma Profiteer. Really not necessary. I could see Hallow... Yeah, I was going to say Hallow Death Priest. With a hand that size, he's got something big. Boom! Takes out Lyneth. And the only bummer about that is you just... Like, you have to use your imagination as to what ultimately the benefit was, but it was a 6/6 body, and whatever down was, would want to summon. So probably one of the better cards in terms of what its potential was. You do that to Parthenax, and it's like, okay, what? Well, no, Parthenax is another one. Okay, you got rid of a 9/9 body, but you don't know what shouts you might have got rid of as well. So that's another high potential. But there are plenty of cards where it's like, okay, I mummified this card, they lost that card, that's it. All that to say, great job, Mark, great job. That was a great mummify. All right, Shrieking Harpy comes down. And, you know, as we've seen many, many times, the only thing probably well, let me finish that thought. As we've seen many times, Telvanni kind of getting its feet down, putting some friction up. And the only thing that's probably making it, helping is, one, Mark is playing a control deck himself, so he's not really on the clock. He has taken the aggressive stance. He has taken, he's gone on the aggressive. But interesting. Well, he is. So yeah, he's going to survive right now the entire assault from that side, unless Daon throws down a Viper or a Silence or something. He's going to have to trade everything in, and even still, the man we're talking about the Mandalorian blade, which it's not a Mandalorian blade. I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore.
Must I do everything myself?
Ooh, what are the odds that she's going to get sacrificed on this very play? And she will! I am so surprised! So surprised! The question was really, would it be Cruel Firebloom? Would it be whatever the experiments are, or whatever the tweaking thing is? Or would it be the altar? Like, it's going to happen. Like, she exists solely to be burned. And, like I said, it is. And there's the Silence we referred to. Still going to require some significant trading. Whoa, interesting. Interesting. It's going to let the 4/9 hit. Didn't see that coming, got to admit. Okay, Grizzly Gourmet, not really any ripe targets, really, because the Sweet Roll is going to get transformed by the altar. So one of the few times that Grizzly Gourmet is actually really, he's not a liability, but he's not going to do anything for you, because those, like Ungulum, which is probably, the lowest, he's going to get sacrificed, or, anything is going to get sacrificed. Mark does have 7/9, so he's going to be halfway there from where he stands now.
I could just eat you up.
He does. I think he did that so that Ungulum could not be brought back, maybe, to create more card draw. It's certainly, Mark not being worried about his health at this point. Oh, and I was about to say, the only thing he's got going for him is the amulet hasn't come down. But that is no longer the case. And so we could very well see what we saw in the last video, which is Telvanni slowly creeping up to the point where Mark just goes, okay, I'm done. Hoping not. Hoping we're going to see some of Mark's late game come up here. It's a bummer of a thing sitting on... it's powerful removal, but Daon is not playing anything that's worth removing. He's just playing a ton of cards. And... Blackhand Messenger. His final message is, I'm taking 2 of your health and gaining 2. And of course the 3/2 will follow next turn. Cruel Firebloom. Really? That seems a little bit reckless.
Feel the power within you.
Come on, Mark. You are the control maestro. Ramp isn't bad. Just not really what he needs right now. He needs some serviceable threats, and they seem to be absent at the moment. Okay, hey, he does use it ultimately to deny that extra bit of card draw from Daon, who is more than likely going to poke the face and then use his... No! Okay, I guess he's got another target planned for his altar. He has a lot of targets for his altar. Oh, that is one of the saddest conscriptions ever seen by human eyes. 1, 2, yep. Sanctuary Pet, useless. Not even gonna. I'd love it if the Sanctuary Pet like spit its web on just a blank piece of the board, and then was like, doggone it!
Of the living.
So the bummer is, I mean, even though it was a crappy conscription. Oh my gosh. And then, but this is the really good thing about. Oh, I mean, razzle madazzle madazzle. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. See, now watch this be the turn that Mark gets Smarak or the Guardians or something.
This one will.
I mean, Mark will be able to take him out next turn, so the damage will be, but the damage will be done. Oh no, never mind. Oh no, he will. He'll still be able to do it. But see, I mean, so.
Wrong place.
Okay, unfortunately, down is going to start looking to. Okay, that's not the worst. But boy, yeah, Mark's just drawing the. Yep. Sorry, Mark. That's oof. It was going to be a long game there, buddy. Anywho, that's going to bring the game to a close, or the session to a close. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to all those who put your prowess on display. Thank you for the great conversations, for enlightening us. Fluffy Fries, looking forward to see the next iteration of that deck. I don't think it was bad. I think you just had some rough matchups there, but I'm looking forward to watching you play that with somebody else, because I don't want that lockpick going off on me. That's a cruel fate there, but it is beautifully nefarious, I will say. And we got to see Kfluffy and yeah, many others. I mean, really got to see a smattering of everybody. Manic-Jack, a lot of the classics, a lot of the folks that are always fun to watch. And, yeah. So, again, thank you for watching. And until next time, keep playing.